What's happening, guys? How are you on a beautiful summer's evening here in Western Washington in Puyallup? This is Phil Walsh, licensed real estate broker with Homeowner Solutions and Skyline Properties, with the #1 living channel in Tacoma. What's happening? Boom, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's go for it. Loving it. So this video is titled Why You'll Love Living in Western Washington. Okay, did some why you may not like it, did some pros and cons, etc, etc. I kind of figured I've taken the dog out, I'll do a little drone shot of where exactly I am, just so you know, Clarks Creek Park, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So don't forget, if you're thinking of buying anywhere in Eastern Washington, from Maple Falls right at the top by Canada all the way down to Vancouver in Southern Washington, then I'm your guy. Get in touch, shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, jump on a FaceTime video call just like this, and we'll go from there. Okay, alrighty, no bollocks, no BS, let's get right into it. So #1, and we're maybe going to do about 5. So #1 is the outdoor recreation up here in Washington State, and I'm talking about simple things like going camping. I'm thinking about chucking a tent in the back of the car, popping the kids in, put a couple of fishing rods in, and then just popping out an hour that way, an hour that way, and you'll be absolutely surprised how many there are up here. You've also got the hiking and the hiking trails if you're a little bit more energetic, or you've got or if you want to take the bicycles out, the bikes out. There's numerous hiking trails. Don't forget, obviously, up in we've got the 3 national parks. We've got Olympic, Cascades, and we've got Rainier National Park. The trails are just endless, and they're all 3 hours. Within 3 hours, Puyallup, Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia. I mean, 3 hours right here on your doorstep, for goodness sake. They're all right there. So the hiking, the camping, you've also got the mountains. So we've got obviously the mountains coming through with the national parks, but during the winter time when we get that snowed up here, and we don't get a lot of snow, obviously in Puyallup, Tacoma, Seattle, I mean, maybe 4 inches, maybe we get a dump in January, February. But up in the mountains like Crystal Mountain, Snoqualmie, snowboarding, skiing, tubing, getting up there, a bit of Glühwein. I used to live in Austria. Glühwein is phenomenal. Mulled, heated wine with cinnamon and cloves to chill those bones when you get off the slopes. So we have all that. Okay. The other thing, what we have out here, if you want to get a little bit further out, we have the San Juan Islands. Okay, so from Seattle up to San Juan takes about 3 hours and 45 minutes straight from Seattle up to San Juan. If you want to go past Seattle and go up to Anacortes, this is what we did to go over to Walker's Island. Anacortes is about an hour and 35 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes north of Seattle. You pop in there, and then the ferry ride is about an hour. So we went there. We actually went there during COVID, actually, a couple of years back now. Loved it. We got away for the weekend. If it's an anniversary or a birthday, or you're sick and tired of the kids, pop them off to the grandmother, the grandfather, your best mate, whatever. It's, listen, we're getting out of it. Straight up to Anacortes from Puyallup and Tacoma, take you about 2.5 hours. Car on the ferry, hour and a half up. You got a full weekend away in the San Juan Islands. And when you're on the ferry, don't forget, you got the dolphins, you got the porpoises, you got the orcas, you got the whales, if you get lucky. So all of that for this outdoor recreation, and we say it a lot in our videos, is this: get them off the couch, get them off the pesky iPhones and the tablets, get them out when it's fresh air, this Washington awesome 4 seasons that we have. We've got the 4 seasons. I've said it before and I'll say it again, we're not like Arizona and some places in Texas where it's just arid and it's like, oh, it's 120 degrees in the summer, it's 90 degrees in the wintertime, but you just got cacti and XYZ, and this, you don't have this greenery that you have right here. So for me, that's probably #1, the outdoor recreational use that you and your family, both in the wintertime and the summertime, can absolutely enjoy right here on your doorstep. Okay, so #2, I'm going to talk about employment opportunities and job opportunities. So obviously up here we've got some major hitters. We've got some of the big guns up there, right? We've got Deloitte's, we've got Starbucks, we've got Microsoft, we've got Boeing, we've got Amazon. We also have JBLM, obviously, which is Joint Base Lewis McChord, the military base, banging between Tacoma, Puyallup, and Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater. that kind of area. So there is a lot of employment opportunities up here, and what that means as well is that there's always going to be an influx of people coming in and an exodus. Don't get me wrong on that front. There's a flip side to that coin, right? So the influx and the people, you know, going back out, people relocating 24/7, especially with JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McCaw, with that military. Alrighty, so there are a lot of job opportunities up here, and a lot of these companies will pay for you to be relocated, especially now with interest rates going up at 6.8 above 7% type deal. And that the job opportunity is going to lead me on to number 3, which is the equity that you can build in your house up here in Washington State, and especially places like Seattle, Puyallup, some areas of Tacoma and Olympia. Okay, the equity that you can get in the house because of these influx of people always moving in, relocating for their jobs, the military always relocating in and exfilling out every 2 to 3 years. There's that market for people that are always going to be here to buy your house. You can get, you know, and don't hold our feet to the fire as a real estate broker at all, okay? But at the end of the day, as long as you have the upkeep of your house, you do those upgrades, you do those improvements, then you're gonna build equity, which means you've got a larger down payment on your next house if you have to relocate back out as military or relocate through another job onto another parts of the USA, okay? So equity in your home, I think, is a big one of why you'll love living up here in Western Washington. Now, I'm just gonna jump in and don't let me forget. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want us to help you out, which we'd love to do because we've loved since we started this channel, the figures are going through the roof and we're absolutely loving it. You got to just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, jump on the FaceTime video call. And you keep saying, oh, why does he keep saying it again? Yada, yada, yada. Well, it's just to remind you, it's all you got to do. It's as simple as that. And if you're moving in, you know, 9 days or 9 months or 3 days or 3 months, a lot of people say, hey, 9 days to 9 months type deal. It doesn't matter whenever you're moving. It could be whatever your time frame is. Get in touch so we can dial in on your needs and wants and get you organized, get you set up in that auto email search, don't forget. And then we can go from there. Okay, so let's just dive straight back into it. So equity was number 3. So number 4, let's talk about brews and food. Don't we all love a brew? And I'm not talking about a cup of tea, PG tips. I'm talking about home craft beer and all that kind of stuff. And I'm also talking about a great food scene, okay? Plus the wineries for the ladies if you're not into the beer, or the gents if you're not into the beer. So the Pacific Northwest produces about 98% of the hops grown here in the United States. Can you believe that? So it comes as no surprise that Seattle has actually made a name for itself as a paradise for beer lovers, right? In fact, the greater Seattle-Tacoma metropolitan area boasts a whopping 174 breweries, and most of them are either craft or microbreweries, alrighty? Just 15 minutes from my house in South Hill, Puyallup, just 15 minutes, right? We've got the Top Down Brewing Company. That's across over there in Sumner. Popped across there this morning. Unfortunately, they weren't open, but that's the Top Down Brewing Company. We've got the Cockerel Hard Cider Company that you might have seen in other videos. Phenomenal little place. They've got the food trucks down there. Scallops is one of my favorites, don't forget. Always got some live music on. Great beer garden, great parking facility down there. And then one of the great things, just literally 5 minutes up the way, is Off Camber Brewing. This guy retired. It was his passion, it was his hobby. He converted his garage, and that's the love of his life. And that, well, apart from his wife, it's the love of his life, and that's what he does. This is the Off Camber Brewing Company, and I'm going to maybe go back and touch base with some of these owners and see maybe we can get an insight into how they started it and XYZ moving forward, if we want to do a more in-depth video for this, if there's a supply obviously and you guys are asking the questions. So there's John's Home Brew and Wine Shop. This is a more or less of an A to Z if you want to start up in your own garage, in your own garden, if the wife allows you in your kitchen. Who the hell knows, right? So this is John's Home Brew and Wine Shop. It's everything from that starter kit to the hops, the full shebang, everything that you might need in order to get your little craft brew, your summertime hobby up and going. We've got the Station U Brew, which is right opposite, obviously, the train station in downtown Puyallup. This is Steve. He's a great guy. He was actually there, and I popped in early in the morning, I think about 11:30, like I said. So there was no, it was open, it just opened up, there was nobody in there, but we had a chat with Steve, and this is what he said. Steve, don't go anywhere. What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
So I've got a little special treat for you guys here, looking at the living on the channel at the moment. I've got Steve. He's the owner of this Ocean Brew. Steve, how long have you had the place, sir, and what is it about brewing?
It's 13 years that we've been open here.
Okay.
This is actually a unique opportunity here. We are a microbrewery where we make and serve our own beer, but it's also a place where you can come in and make an appointment, come in and brew your own beer.
So you can actually bring your own stuff down and brew it yourself?
You can, or we have everything here as well.
So you had everything done dusted?
Yep, so we're one-stop shopping. You can come in and just show up. You spend about 3 hours to 5 hours doing the brewing. We ferment it, condition it, carbonate it, and then I have 2 bottling stations that are kind of buried right now, but 2 bottling stations where you come back in and bottle the beer up and take it home.
And this craft brewery scene up here, we're in Pierce County, Western Washington. Is it big? Is it huge? Is it catching on? Is it growing?
Yep. I mean, especially the home brewing market. I mean, people want to learn how to brew their own beer, but some people want to buy equipment and do it at home. Other people like coming in here to brew because they get to do the fun part, and we do the part that's not as much fun, which is the cleanup and the sanitary.
They get the fun part, they take it home, drink the beer, and you clean up.
Right, yeah.
Steve, I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Peace out.
Yep.
One of the nice things that I like about living up here in this friendly family, and I keep going back to Hot Market Puyallup, is when we were down at the off-camber brewing, he said, listen, have you popped across to the one by Ording? Macmillan Farm, he said. I said, I've not actually popped down that way. We actually bypassed it on the way back from Orting, okay? So I said, on you go, let's have a little jog down there, shall we? Well, I didn't jog, obviously. So it's 15 minutes from where we are in sort of Puyallup, where we were in Puyallup. Straight down there, 162, it's on the left-hand side, just before you get into Orting. Spoke to Matt, he's the head honcho, one of the head honchos down there, one of the brothers, I think, of part of the family that owns it. Absolutely stupendous. They have a farmer's market, they've got the food trucks, they've got their own craft brews, they got fresh vegetables, the full shebang, they've got all of these stores going on. And I'm gonna leave, so I'm just gonna show you, you're probably watching the GoPro now, but I'm gonna end with a little drone shot that we did of that farm down there, because I think that epitomizes what Puyallup and this local native valley and village feel, hometown feel, is all about. Okay, so that's the brew on the brews front.
I don't know. They have to be. I mean, unless they kind of
So it's $10 for a sugar baby watermelon and $10 for
So obviously you've seen it maybe in the sort of Puyallup is a nutshell, Olympia is a nutshell video that's coming out next week. We do have an awesome lot of great restaurants down there. One of the ones, unfortunately, I couldn't get it, sorry, there's flies around, couldn't get a footage in, is Farm 12. It's an awesome place. They've got a coffee shop. They've got events going on down there. I'm going to go back and interview the manager if I can to get a little bit more detail about what's going on with that one. Along with all of these swanky restaurants, excuse me a minute, is we also have, just had to make sure the dog wasn't running away, we've got a lot of the wineries, like I said, so within about a 30-mile radius from Renton going up north. There's at least sort of 10 wineries within a 30-mile radius for us. You got Fry Winery, Marcus Sophia Winery, 21 Cellars Winery, Calamar Winery, Devereux Creek Vineyard, Stringtown Farms and Cellars. You got Scoos Creek Wine Cellars, Scarborough Winery, The Rebel Wine, Harlequin Wine Cellars, and more and more and more. So there's something for everybody, and you can differentiate that lifestyle up here in Washington, from the beach to the hiking to the farms, you know, to the craft breweries, to the wineries, pop up to the islands, go on the hiking trails, go on the walking trails. You want to go fishing? check out the pics. Right now at the minute, it's prime time fishing in Puyallup River. I wouldn't swim in it, just FYI. It's not exactly like the Caribbean that I used to live in, but there's just something for everybody, for the family, for every single thing that you guys would want to do to get out and about. It's that family unit up here that I love about, which makes this hot market of Puyallup and the surrounding areas like 𝐼𝐸𝐷, obviously, and further down south like Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, Yelm, even past the Tacoma and further north, going up into King County like Auburn. Don't forget Lake Tapps, Bonnie Lake. It's just something for everybody. So just going back to the restaurants, I mean, from fish to burgers to, to other sort of seafood type deal. I'm actually thinking we're going to knock out a couple of videos of the top 5 burgers in Pierce County, or the top 5 fish and chips, or something like that. Again, it's not going to be a super exciting video, but it's going to give you an insight to what we have price-wise, cost of living-wise, where you can go, actually, we'll put that on the bucket list when we get up there, when we relocate and move up to Washington State. You can pop down to Tacoma and go down Ruston Way. You've seen the video. If you haven't, check out the Ruston Way vlog. All of the seafood restaurants right down Ruston Way until you get to Ruston Point, where you've got more of the sort of there's a Ram down there, and there's other sort of bigger bars, but there's also some really swanky restaurants down there. You got some other great restaurants, some high-end steak places. 𝐿TW&x, which is right downtown Tacoma, just opposite the 𝐦𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐭 Museum, right? So that brings me on to another great thing up here in this area of Western Washington, especially where we live, is the stuff for, it's for kids to do. And it's not if you don't have any kids. I don't always go on about the kids, but there's something to do for everybody up here. If you're looking at the kids, maybe you've seen our videos about Owens Beach, you've seen the 𝐦𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐭 Museum. You've seen the other top 5, you've seen Candle Beach Park, you've seen Wild Waves Beach Park. There's another video coming up in 10 days or 2 weeks time about the best thing for kids best thing to do with kids in Olympia. There'll be other ones about Yelm as well, etc, etc. This outdoor lifestyle living is absolutely awesome with the 4 seasons that we have. There is something to do 24/7, 365 a year, moving forward with that. And I think that's one of the reasons why you'll love living up here in Western Washington State. Now let me end with 3 things. Number 1, if you like the beaches, don't forget about the beaches. Did a cheeky couple of little videos. You got 𝐶𝐿𝐿𝐿 Beach, 20 minutes away from Puyallup, just down from Tacoma, basically, just off Chambers Golf Course, an hour and 15 minutes from Seattle. 𝐶𝐿𝐿𝐿 Little Beach. You got volleyball, you got the kids park down there. It's just an awesome, chilled out, swanky little place to go. And one of my favorites for the beaches that I can, just tie back in to that recreational thing is 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach. 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach. Call it 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach. It's 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach. 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach, 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's just across the way from Seattle. And if you see on the eastern end of 𝐼𝐸𝐷 Beach, you'll see the cruise ship terminal. You'll pan around, you'll see it on the drone, you'll see the needle, and then you'll pan around on Seattle downtown. You'll see the big wheel down there. This beach is 2.5 miles long. During the summertime, it's volleyball, it's rollerblading, it's bicycles. You can rent those little bikes where you start at one end of the beach and drop off at the other end of the beach. The amount of joggers and the fitness guys and the gurus that go down there and up and down. It really is another one of those relaxing kind of places to go that you're looking at right now. There's something for everybody. That's probably about an hour and 15 minutes from Puyallup. From Tacoma, it's about an hour, again, depending on the traffic. So all of these things that I've mentioned in this very, very simple video, and again, these are just in my humble opinions, guys. You know, don't hold my feet to the fire and go, well, we kind of hate that one there, Phil. There's something to do for everybody up here, especially on the western side of Washington State where we live. So if you're thinking of relocating, if you're thinking of moving to Tacoma, to Puyallup, to Olympia, to Centralia, to Chehalis, if you're further south down in Vancouver, you're Seattle, if you're further north, Everett, Edmonds, you know, Bellingham, Bellevue, if you're going all the way up to the Canadian border and Maple Falls, then I'm the guy for you. I've got your back. All you gotta do is give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever it is, nighttime, daytime, weekends. We've got your back. Addie will deconstruct that mortgage for you. You'll know exactly the price of your mortgage. No hidden surprises. I'll set you up in that auto email search. We'll get you set up, fly up, pick you up. We'll knock out the roof of houses. We'll go check this stuff out, and you'll walk away going, why you'll love living in Western Washington is exactly why I make these kind of videos. Guys, we so much appreciate you watching them. This is Phil Walsh, licensed real estate broker. I'm with Skyline Properties, Inc., Homeowner Solutions. We can't thank you enough. May this beautiful weather continue. Thanks, guys. I'll check you out. Till the next time.